This is our final project, Restaurant Advisor. Our project works through the use of the runner class, which is a central runner that calls all the other classes that need to be used. It starts with calling for a login that needs to be gone through before you can access the rest of it. All of our data is stored in the restaurant and review classes, which are obviously filled out with what they're named for. And we have array lists of each within each, because each restaurant has an array list of reviews that are unloaded from a text file in the runner class. Login works using mostly Java Swing components. Everything actually uses Java Swing components. There was no FX used, and it was all hard coded, which was fun. Yeah, so this is what it's going to look like. Where there's preset accounts and there's options to create an account. During the actual search, you can search for a specific restaurant or a certain type of like food, and options will come up about that. And when you click on them, as you see here, this window pops up showing the name, the average rating, where the address is, and the phone number, along with reviews with the stars, the username, and the review itself. You can click order if you see back here, and you can select from there to place your order. And when you place your order, it adds the subtotal. So I can show an actual representation of this by running this. Comes up. I happen to know that one of the logins is just Tim Pass, but actually we can create a new one. So let's call it video test. Create account created, then we log in. We can search for fast food. It's very case sensitive. It is not smart enough to know if you misspell something. You click it, this comes up as shown. And you can also order from here, and shows what this is. Click these items and order. And it works for a bunch of various things we have here. We have this login list that adds and writes to it, and the restaurant list, which we cannot currently add restaurants or reviews to, but this can be filled out as needed, and that would be one of the things that we need to add. So the runner class calls login and goes through when it comes back from runner, or so it calls in the main statement, calls login, has to go through login, and then once you get through this, it creates a new runner, and that's what the constructor is here. And as you can see, lots of Java Swing components and action listeners, which was one of the main difficulties in this that we wrote about in the report, is that you need to declare all components before you can add action listeners. And what I mean by that is that I cannot add components in an action listener, which for some of this, such as the search, as you see, and then those options came up, like the amount is going to differ based on the search. And before we were trying to create as many as were needed in the action performed, because then we would just connect it to what was typed in, and it would be easy, like the amount of restaurant objects that match that type, which is in here. So the way around this is what we did was we declared a list. Where is this? A list of buttons that are left void and are invisible until you search. Here's actually what I was looking at here. There's 5 right now. And then it resets the text to it and makes them visible for what you searched. So this is the way around it. Like, they're already there, we're not declaring it, but we can still set the text. And we can also add action listeners within an action listener, which made it even more useful. So that was, I guess, another issue that we ultimately didn't solve. Was I wanted this originally to be JPanel so that it would all be on one screen, but the repaint function wasn't working, so we just made it into separate windows, and like the separate windows for ordering, as you saw there, it goes through, creates a list, also adds up the pricing of it, and the review page, which just puts all the information, pretty much unloads all the information from the restaurant's data. When the constructor for runner is called, so after it's gone through login, it runs this load method, which is pretty much just breaking up all the string. It takes all the all the data in this text file and breaks it up and it stores it into the array lists in the way it needs to be. So it like declares a new restaurant, all the address, the numbers, the reviews, the menu, puts it all into there. And that's pretty much how it all works. Yeah. Bye.